Welcome everyone to another Microverse Lunch and Learn. This week we are joined by Jose Florido. He is a co-founder and CEO of Wepoke, and in the past he has helped create many companies such as Panoramio, which is sold to Google, and Loquo, which is sold to eBay. And today he's going to talk about his journey, his experience working remotely for these companies, managing teams. So Jose, welcome. We are excited to have you with us. And
Thank you.
we are going to turn off our screens and our microphones so everyone can see your presentation. Is that alright? Are you ready?
Yes, I am. Okay, so I'm gonna
All
start. I'm gonna start sharing my screen now, so we can start.
All right.
Okay, can you see the presentation? Hi, guys, can you hear me?
Wrote a message there on the. I'll be chatting on the chat bar there just to give you some feedback. But yeah, we can see the slides.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk about my experience chronologically. So I'll start talking about my first startup, which was Panoramio, and then I'm gonna go a little bit about my time at Google and Niantic, which is actually, it was a spin-off of Google, and then my new company, which is called Wepoke. And I'll try to explain a little bit how differently the remote working experience was in each of these different companies and situations. Okay, so if you go now to panoramio.com, you will see just this. So this means Panoramio.com, which was the website of our company, it's now just closed. So Google, after 8 years, they decided to close the domain. So sad. But this is how Panoramio used to look like. So it's actually, I don't know if you had the opportunity to use it, but it is actually a map of the world where people can upload pictures of places, right? So it's a user community, much like Flickr or I don't know, like 500px or many other different ones, where photographers can upload their pictures and share them, but it has the focus on the geography, right? So every picture had to include a latitude and longitude and be added to the map. So that was and also the only images of places were added, like no pictures of your dog or pictures of your food or whatever, just places around the world. So Panoramio grew very quickly, and something like we started in 2006, and after 2 years, Google approached us. It was a bit less than 2 years actually, and that's when the acquisition took place. And we at that point we had like I think 1 million users, something like this, and
Hello, Jose. Seems like we're having some technical difficulties.
Yeah, I noticed from his end. I think he just wrote on the chat that he is disconnected, but we'll just wait for him to connect back with us.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, let me just. Oh, okay, he's back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Yeah. So yeah, but glad you're back. So just switch off our
Okay, I'm gonna try again.
cameras and then you can continue.
Oh.
Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay. So yeah, as I said, we had more than a
I think his connection has a bit of lag, but we're going to see how that goes in a few. Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, can you see the slides? Okay, good. Awesome. So let's see if this works better now. Okay, so after the acquisition by Google, the whole team of Panoramio, we moved into the Google Maps team, and this is what the Panoramio looks like nowadays. So it's fully integrated into Google Maps. So when you go to Google Maps and you want to see pictures of a place, like this is the Berlin Cathedral, right? So you can explore photos and also panoramas and 3D spheres by the Street View. So all the pictures taken by users are actually from the Panoramio collection. And also Panoramio kind of converted into a key feature of Google Maps, and it's actually still very successful inside Google Maps. So let me talk a little bit about how was the team structure before the acquisition. We were a very small startup, right? We had less than 2 years when we got acquired, so we didn't have time to develop a lot of processes or structure. So the team was comprised of only one developer, who was a backend developer. I myself, I was the UX designer and the front-end developer, and the other guy, he was the community manager, right? So it was a very, very small team, only 3 people, and we were all distributed and working remote. So we had no office, and so one of my colleagues, he was in Paris, the developer. So the community manager, he was in Germany, and I was living in Spain, in Malaga at the time. So it was everyone, each one of us was in a different country. So the way we use our communication tools, right? So we used to meet in person like once every 6 months. So we did like 3 meetings. That's it. But we used to have everyday phone calls, right? Remember, this was like 2006 and 2007, so it's a long time ago. So we had daily phone calls, a lot of phone calls, a lot of emails. I don't know if you guys know IRC. It's a all-time chat protocol, right? So we used to we have like a chat channel for us, and then CVS, which is the tortoise there. We used to have a CVS for version control, so something similar to what is Git nowadays, but quite old and much slower actually. So that's the way we used to sync our files and work with code. Yeah, it was very simple, very not advanced at all, but it worked because we were such a small team. So it was a good remote experience. Yeah, the only problem is it was a very young company, so it was very stressful because it was such a short time before the acquisition, and we didn't have time to put processes in place or to understand or learn how to work better together. So it was very chaotic, but it worked well. Okay, so next I'm going to talk about Google and Panoramio, and Niantic. So after Panoramio and the acquisition, I spent like 6 years at Google, mainly working on the Maps team. And then my last 2 years, I spent them on Niantic, which was a project. At the beginning, it was just a project inside Google. So Maps. So at Google Maps, I was part of the UX team. I was leading one of the redesigns. It looks old now, but it was a newer version at the point. This was like 2010. So we had like 20 designers in the team, and it was a huge effort to move forward the old design to this design, which was much more integrated with the new image of Google brand in general. So after Google Maps, the other product I had the opportunity to work on was Google Groups, and also we did a big redesign of Google Groups, and it was very important because at the time Panoramio itself was integrated into Google Groups for the forum, the community forum. So this product actually helped both Panoramio and Groups itself. So it was a great effort involving teams from Zurich in Switzerland to Boulder in Colorado in the US, and people also in Mountain View in California. So it was like a big effort of many distributed teams. Okay. So after my time at Groups and Maps, I went to work for Niantic. Okay, so I went to work for Niantic, which is the creator. So nowadays is very famous for being the creator of Pokemon Go. Which is I imagine you know Pokemon Go is augmented reality mobile game, which is very popular. So before Pokemon Go, we released Ingress, which is this game you can see on the slide. And so Ingress is actually the same. So it was like the first version of Pokemon Go, we could say. So it was very similar, alternative reality game, where it's also very popular, but not as much as Pokemon Go. And then we can say that Pokemon Go is like a reskinning, right? So they applied a new brand name, new skin, but it's the same game interactions, the same game rules, right? And the same technology at the end. So Niantic started as a small team inside Google, but we worked as a startup, right? So we kind of separated from Google. We moved to a different building. At the beginning, we were only 6 people, and I was the sole designer of Ingress. And then after 2 years, when I quit, we were like 80 people already, and we had 2 products in the market, which one is Ingress, which was very successful, and the other product we launched was a Field Trip, which is not a game. It's like a different way of exploring a city. Like you go to a city, and there is a lot of curated content that you can explore and consume, right? And it's still quite popular. So if you guys go visit a new city, you should give it a try. And then then after Niantic, it's when I quit Google. It was like 6 years, so I couldn't have the chance to work on Pokemon Go. We did that 2 years later, so that's a pity, I guess. Okay, so before I go into more detail of how remote work was at Google, I want to do a break here and talk about the six big lessons I learned during my time at Google. So the first lesson is you must unlearn what you have learned, right? So because of the scale, which is such an incredible scale of the user base they have, a lot of things you do in a way for when you are like building a website, for example, you have to do it differently. So you have to always think about the load. So such a huge load in your servers and your front end, everything has to be much more optimized, much better reviewed. Because everything is much more important when you have such a scale, and also you have users all over the world, right? So it's kind of a very different environment. You have to design for, I think, like 68 languages at the time, many more, I imagine now. And you have also to develop for such a huge user base. So it's quite a challenge. So also when you are designing a product, you have to think big, and that is like really big, right? So because of the resources they have, you must always think big and know that the solutions you're going to develop, they need to be top in the market, right? They cannot be just a solution. They're going to try to be the best solution in the market always. And then, so embracing constraints is also important. Sometimes we are like, so this is 2009, I think, when we launched the first version of Google Voice. And I remember in iPhone, because Google Voice was using at the time Macromedia Flash or Adobe Flash internally to make use of the audio and of the phone, and that was impossible to do in iPhone, right? Because they cannot run the Flash plugin. So we jumped into HTML5 quite early, and because of this constraint, we were able to build one of the very first HTML5 applications with using sound, which was not even a standard at the time. Okay. So number 4 is speed. Speed is very, very important, right? So people don't want to wait online, and our products need to be fast, but also the speed the organization needs to launch and develop products is very important, especially in a big organization. And then related to number 4, it's iteration, right? So we don't do radical innovation, or we may do radical innovation, but it's never instant. So innovation is a product of iteration, right? So we improve, we do small improvements, we keep iterating, and then that's when the best innovation breaks out, right? So iterate and improve and build step by step is the key. It's key in the process. And then the last one, because I was working at user experience and user research, so I always remember this. My time at Google, we used to say focus on the user and all else will follow, right? So the user is always on the center, and if you focus on the needs of the user, the product have a better chance to be a success. So those are the lessons I learned there. And so now I'm going to work a little bit about the structure. So at Google, so for example, in Maps, we had hundreds of software engineers. It's a huge, huge team, right? A lot of talent, a lot of people who is very good at what they do. Implementation and QA, and then we also have like a sizable team of designers. So we do have a lot of resources, right? But at the time, very few people were fully remote. So everybody could take a day or two or whatever you need to work from home. So you could work remotely, but we didn't have like remote positions, right? Like someone who is 100% always remote. And when you work remote, it wasn't like sorry, I'm going to talk about the issues, right? So with the remote working at Google. So when you were working remote, you didn't have a lot of flexibility, right? So it was like you are still working the same way, but you are at home. So you still had to be at the same time that everybody else for daily meetings or weekly meetings. So you mostly needed to be in the same time zone or be able to, to be there when the meeting happened. So it was not very flexible. While it was remote, but you still had to be like in the office, right? A lot of video conferencing, a lot of chat, a lot of real-time interaction was happening. And also there was a lot of structure because it's a big company. So you had your manager, you had your performance reviews. So it wasn't very flexible. And then the stack of tools we used at the time, it was also quite bloated. So we had Hangouts at the time. It was called Gmail chat, I think, at the time, or Gmail video chat. We had lots of emails, lots of documenting on Google Docs. We also had the intranet called MOBA, which was a intranet for every employee where you have to do also a lot of work there. And then for code reviews and code sharing, we had P4. So P4, it's similar to Git, but it's a different, it's called Perforce or P4. And Google, we had our own custom version called G4 for Google. And yeah, it was a very slow versioning system, nothing like Git or GitHub. And we also had like many internal tools for code links and code reviews, right? So which weren't simple at all, weren't very polished. So it was not as simple to manage or navigate stack in the iterations. Okay, so I'm going to talk now a little bit about my new startup. It's called Wepoke. And Wepoke, so when I quit Google in 2012, I was looking to do something different where I had, so my main focus was to have more time for my family, more time to do different things and to be different places. So I didn't want to have everyday meetings and, all these corporate life problems. So Wepoke is all about creating websites and mobile apps, and we do everything in house. We design, develop, and host and monetize all our products. So we don't have clients. We don't have mostly no time constraints. So we create our own products and we run them, monetize them, and iterate and keep creating new different ones. Actually, we always say that each of our products could be its own startup, but so we manage just a portfolio of them with a small team of people. Okay, so our team right now, so let me talk about the team structure. We right now are like 8 or 9 people. We have 2 designers, 2 software engineers. There's one person who is in charge of the system administration. So he's the sysadmin. So he's the servers administrator. And we also, the presentation keeps jumping. Okay. And we also have a team of editorial teams. It's 3 people who they write content, review content, and create articles and content for our websites. So we don't have any product managers, and we mostly don't do any meetings. So we work very independently. We keep an office. You can see this is our office, but barely no one goes to the office. It's only a reference, and we sometimes meet in the office, but we are all remote workers. Everybody's we're in at least 3 different countries, I think. Yeah, we are. So I'm based in the U.S. in very close to San Francisco in Berkeley. So we are 3 people in the U.S. One guy is in Austria. Another 3 people are in Spain, in different cities in Spain, actually. So we are quite remote, and our model, which is where I think we are developing a better model, is we are not only remote, but we are flexible, right? So every employee is task oriented. So I am the CEO and the owner of the company. I don't need to meet with them daily or weekly. I know what they are doing. They have a lot of independency and responsibility, and everybody gets to like control their own time, their own tasks, and they all know what is expected. We all know what is expected to do, right, by ourselves, and we just work on our tasks independently. And then sometimes we are much more integrated because we are working on the same product. Sometimes there's people in the editorial team which maybe I don't interact with them for a month, right, or 3 weeks. Just I don't even chat with them, right, because they are doing their work. I can see how they are making progress, and I trust them because they are able to manage their time and their tasks, and it works very well with the right people. So in our team, everybody values this independent approach, and everybody is very happy to be right self-manage and self control. Also, for me as a manager, it's much easier because I get to spend my time coding and designing instead of managing people, right? So I still have to do some management, but I can be hands-on with the products and not just assigning tasks and managing. So the way we do it, we don't do meetings. We just keep like to-do lists and roadmaps for the products, and from time to time we check. We do like a healthy check how everything's going. What should we do next? And we take it from there, right? And then if we in our tool stack we keep a Slack channel for each product, right? So if you read something for a product in particular, you just go to Slack and you ask for it. Or we also have WhatsApp groups in case we need to do like video or audio. We like WhatsApp for that. And we do very few email, very few Google Docs, and the same we keep it very simple for our code. We mostly use FTP, so we just have cloud or virtual servers, and we just keep a code base which we don't even keep version control. We keep it locally, each of us, and we do FTP updates, and that's it. And sometimes we use GitHub because we collaborate with open source projects, but yeah, we don't have like a structure or a code base. We just have our code in a folder, code in a server, and we just upload it. So sometimes that leads to problems where I may, because we don't have version control, I may step into someone else's code changes, but normally we take it to Slack and just fix it and fix whatever conflict is there in the code. And it's not a big problem because we are normally working on different projects, so we try not to work on the same code at the same time. And because we are only a few developers, it's easy to keep it this way. Okay. Also, we have very little structure. Like everybody in the company is just a Wepoke employee. We don't have titles or yeah, we are very flat. We'll do the same our specific work, and there is no reporting or no like performance review. So it's very flat, and so there is no overhead in this kind of corporate or work related tasks. Okay, so that's all I wanted to share with you. So now, we have some time for questions. Okay.
Thanks so much, Jose, for sharing with us about your journey, and that was just awesome.
Okay.
And
can you hear me, Jose?
Hi, yes, I can hear you.
All right. So we have some questions in Q&A. Kevin asked, how did the core team meet
You
when
mean,
you were developing a product that was sold to Google?
oh, Panoramio?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
So we were only 3 people in the team,
Mhm.
and we met in a previous startup, which was called Loquo.
Mhm.
It was a Craigslist clone. Do you know Craigslist?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we built a clone for the Spanish market, and actually eBay acquired Craigslist in 2005.
Mhm.
And after that, we were like 16 people at that company. So we met as co-workers there, and then we decided to, after the acquisition, we decided to start something else by ourselves, and that's how we met and we decided to start working together.
Ah,
All
okay.
right. That's very interesting.
And then Saba was asking, what kind of products are you developing now at Wepoke?
Okay, so we mostly we develop websites, right? So we develop websites which follow a niche. So, for example, we have this road trip planner, which is like a tool for uh, preparing a road trip and check how long is the distance from a city to a different city, where you can sleep in which hotels, where you can stop in the way, rental cars. So it's a tool so for people to prepare a road trip. And we also have this like a magazine of articles, right, in the same website. But we manage more than 20 different websites. That's an example. We have another one which is a website where you can check a lot of information about the sunrise and sunset in every latitude and longitude in the world. So you can say, so I live in India, where is the sunset going to be the day of my wedding, right? So we will give you that information based on it's a solar model we built. So, so we will give you that information together with a lot of information about the sun, like I don't know, nautical information. It's a very technical information for astronomers, and then we also this project, for example. So most of our projects are user facing. So we build a website, we do the design, the content, and then we get traffic through SEO, through Google, right? Organic traffic. But we also have, for example, the Sunrise project. We have an API which we sell to other companies, like, for example, smart irrigation systems, right? They need to know when it's the sunrise to start watering the plants, so they consume our data. We also have like, other like smart blinds. There's automated blinds in your house or curtains. So when it's
Mhm.
dark, they check through our API when it's going to be dark, and they will
Wow.
turn them in. Even our biggest client, it's Mercedes in India. So they have the smart cars. It's a small car. They have the screen in the car will change to night mode based on our data. So we have an
Wow.
API. So our API has like 4 million requests per day, so it's getting bigger. So we sell it to a lot of different
Wow.
companies. It's actually a free API if you want to try. And yeah, so yeah, it's all
Oh,
information about the
yeah.
sun. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank
Maybe you
you.
can
That
give us the
sounds
link in
useful.
the chat.
yeah, yes,
Yes,
I
that
will.
would be awesome.
Okay, and then my question, I think you had already answered. I asked it before you got to that part. How much remote work did you do at Google? That's
Oh,
answered, or maybe you can expound some more.
yeah. So I myself, I only did so I did remote work a few days a week when I needed. So I was in a remote position, but I mean everybody at Google because you have to travel a lot. So you have to go to Japan or to Europe or You have to go with different teams to work with them. So then you have to do remote from there, but it's only occasional, not like a remote position.
Oh, okay. And then at Wepoke, you said there are no, what do we call them? No one has a role. So how do you handle the admin stuff? Let's say the bookkeeping, the invoicing.
Oh, yeah.
Who handles that?
We have one person actually, which is so I didn't count him on the team, but we have an administrative person. He takes care of all the salaries, invoices, all the boring stuff.
Okay.
All that, yeah. But it's very light. Because we are a small company, we don't have clients. We only get paid by advertisement companies because all of our business is ads mostly. So it's very simple. We don't have a lot of invoicing or clients to manage.
Okay. And one last question that I think I didn't write here. When I was looking at your work at Wepoke, you mentioned something to do with an incubator. Is it doing the same? Because what I understood is you're working on products that are...
So we consider ourselves like an incubator of ideas more than companies, right? So what we do is we test different ideas. Right now, I think our top speed is like 3 a month. So every month we develop 3 new ideas for different niche. Let's say we have a website about Berlin, right? So we launch a website about what to do in Berlin if you are on holiday, right? And then we do 3 every month, and then we wait and see if it's getting traffic and getting traction, if people like it, and then we will only continue those that work better. So maybe in a year we try 50 different websites, but we only keep in our portfolio like 8 or 9, right? So we keep we call it a lab or So it's all about trial and error.
All right.
Okay. And also a follow-up question on that, because if you're doing 3 a month, I know some companies have a lot of continuous integration and deployment to help them chunk out products. But you guys seem to be doing it the old school way. How do you guys handle 3 projects a month deployed, managed?
So because our code is actually very simple, so we normally just use PHP, MySQL, and Node.js, right? So it's very simple. We have our own template for a project. We just replicate the template, do the new code, which we have a lot of libraries we can reuse, and then we just upload it. There is no launch calendar or so it's very, very simple. And then also because we are testing out the ideas, we cannot invest a lot of time because most of them we are going to end up killing them, right? So remember I said we do 3 every month, and maybe every month we get nothing or 1, right? So we only do like a week per project. It's like a test. So if it works, then we will improve the design. Then we will make the code better. We will add more content. But the very early version, it's super simple. It's just a test.
Okay. Yeah.
And
that makes
is
sense.
everyone free to suggest an idea? And do you vote internally in the company? Which ideas do you want to work on?
Yeah, sometimes there is a research phase. So we do research about so we follow ideas where we know there is a lot of search volume because we do SEO, right? So we search for high volume topics and low competitors. Like some ideas are like, I don't know, we have this website about which are the most popular names for babies in the US, right? There's something people search for a lot, but all the websites competing in this vertical are very not very professionally done, very amateur. So we can do easily a good website with good design, good content, right? And just be number one very easily because the competitors are doing a bad job, right? So that's the kind of research we do.
Very interesting, yeah.
Also on that, other than the high volume as a measure of whether an idea is viable, and coming up with 3 ideas every month, what is your process for setting KPIs for any new idea that comes up? Or how do you measure and say internally, other than traffic, we're also looking at this, and this?
Well, we normally only look at traffic and CPM, which is how well the advertisement pays. So sometimes an idea can be very popular in like South America, but the CPMs are lower than in the US, right? So that's something we take also into account. Like not all the markets pay the same, so we can have an idea about like jokes, right? That jokes, there is no many brands paying in AdSense or AdWords for jokes, but you can get a lot of traffic there, so it's difficult to monetize. But if we do an idea about hotels, right? Hotels, it's a highly paid, most likely the top paid vertical in advertisement. So that's something we also take into account. Like, can we get a lot of traffic from a high-paying country like the US, UK, Europe is good, Australia is good, and high volume. So if we get the 3, like high-paying industry, high-paying country in advertisement, and high volume, that's normally a winner for us.
Okay, I think I find that model very interesting, and I have a lot of questions there. So one last one would be, of course, you'll experiment with 3 ideas, and maybe one goes through, and the team is ready for that. So do you guys have like a backup plan in case all 3 go through? Like, is that something you even consider, or is the likelihood really low?
Well, right now, actually, we are a bit slow. We are doing only like 1 idea a month or so because we now have more than 20 websites working for 6 years, some of them. So just maintaining the code, and because the websites that work well, they keep growing in traffic only if we keep improving them, right? So we have to do 2 tasks, maintain and improve the current working websites and also come out with new websites. So the more maintenance you have, the less time you have for new ideas. So it's kind of a difficult balance. So, but we don't really need new websites now for our model to work. We just want to always keep doing new websites because it's future-proof for the company. And also, we have like a long list of ideas. I mean, we have like maybe 100 ideas ahead of us. So it's just a TXT file. Yeah, we have like a TXT file where if we keep pulling from there, and we also keep adding new ideas from time to time. We do brainstorming and add new ideas. Also, there is many competitors in this industry. They do similar things. Some of them are more based on an algorithm, so they do websites after doing like algorithm research. So it's Christmas, they do a website about Christmas, right? So they do seasonal content. I mean, it's a big it's a big industry. So we also get ideas from competitors. So it's kind of never ending.
Okay. So I think in case you have any other questions, Saba, Ken?
I'm okay for now.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah, sure. So I guess we can wrap this up. I'll stop the recording. Thank you so much, Jose, for being with us in this webinar and sharing with us your incredible journey. I still don't know what basket to place you in, whether it's front-end developer, entrepreneur, or an amalgam of both. But thank you so much for talking to us and answering our questions. And it's been very awesome.
Oh, my pleasure.
Thanks a lot.
Okay.
I think
Bye,
some
guys.
of the things we heard today
Yeah.
are very useful. So yeah,
Oh.
thank you.